Hello everyone and welcome to another manga book club with me, Ophelia. Hello! I had troubles making my VTube studio work this before stream. I always decide to, I'm always like, 5 minutes before stream, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and check out and see if it works, and then it doesn't. It's my fault though. How is everyone doing? Hello. Let's see. We also need to call my co-host and noob, Mr. Tay himself. I don't know if I told you guys, but me and Tay moved in with me, so he's in my apartment as we speak. But our setups are like PC setups are like next to each other's, but I told him you cannot be nya because people will hear us talking over each other. They can't be, so I pushed him into the bedroom and said, you can stay here. I realized we haven't seen you VTuber in a while. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I usually don't use it when I co-work or study, because when I study, I sit like, and then you see it twitches. It doesn't really work well. So yeah. I did use my VTuber in the beginning when I did the study streams, but I sit very weirdly when I read my books, and I also want to have the book in front of me and not like looking down. I usually hold it up, and if I hold it up, I hold it in front of the camera, and then it loses tracking and everything. So, yeah. Pushed him into the bedroom. Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, stay here. Maybe it's the basement. I won't tell you. Hopefully he doesn't tattletale on me. Is that how you say it? Tattletale? I don't know. Let me call him and see if he answers. Mm. Brr, 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 brr. Hello?
Oh, coming to you live from the dungeon.
No! You're not in the dungeon. I promise. I don't have a dungeon.
The cold and dark dungeon.
Is it really cold? I mean,
It's very cold.
it's been raining for 3 days, so it's probably very moist and cold down there.
I have all the corners are damp, and something is dripping on me.
Oh,
It's too dark to see what.
that's horrible.
Mhm.
It's not my fault though. You were the one who wanted to move in, and I said that it comes with some terms. I have space in dungeon and basement. That's okay.
I,
Mm.
I did not read that in the small text
Yeah,
in the contract.
yeah. You should have read more properly. That was the first rule. Can you read? Otherwise, you're not allowed in my house.
So high standards.
I know. The contract. Yeah, there is a contract. We don't speak about it though. What another term is that he has to do all the dishes.
All the dishes.
Yeah.
Breakfast in bed.
Every morning. Tea whenever I want tea. I just need to do a little sir, please here.
Please.
Please, sir, fill this up. Who am I
Have some
kidding? I
more.
would never call you sir.
More like it.
Yeah.
That.
Come here, you scoundrel. You call him bitch? Exactly. Little bitch boy. Oh, don't cry on stream. People will actually think you're in pain. You say how it is, you enjoy it.
I do. Said that. I mean, what?
Damn, I see how it is.
I'm having a great time here.
Oh yeah, of course. To be fair, tomorrow you get more freedom because I start working at my job tomorrow again. So you get like 8 hours of freedom each day now.
Whoa.
Technically, it's 10 hours tomorrow because I work 10 hours tomorrow. You will miss me when I'm gone.
I will.
Who's gonna, be mean to you then?
Who's gonna bully me under that time?
Exactly. We aren't helping you in the dungeon. Damn. See, they don't even want to rescue you in the
No
dungeon.
rescue party. It's over.
Hmm. It's time to just roll over and die.
Just let the rats consume me down here.
Rats, rats, we are rats. Oh no, now that's stuck
That
in
was started
my.
right. We're the rats.
Now that's stuck on my mind. Stupid rat song. Mm. Mm. Well, we have read manga to today.
Oh yeah,
We
that
haven't.
was a thing.
I haven't just bullied Tay. I have actually read stuff as well.
Mhm.
I haven't read as much as I wanted to, though. Like, I think I read 4 or 5 volumes, something like that. And
Volume 6.
yeah, I kind of want to continue it though, but I didn't have time due to like my summer course is so taxing when it comes to reading. I still have like 33 research papers to do. And I have, let's see, 5 books to read as well. And one of them is like 400 pages long, and the others are like 300 or something. So I have a ton to read. I did try to do the mangas in between and on my bathroom breaks. You always need a good bathroom book, am I right?
Mhm.
Don't me, Mr. Scrolling on TikTok on the toilet.
Eller you do some reading on TikTok.
Yeah, yeah. Ophi, have you gave him daily rations and made sure he hasn't made a clan with the rats? Wait, have you done a clan with the rats in the dungeon? Hmm?
No.
Hmm.
Me and the Skavens would never.
Hmm. I think I need to send Gina down to kill all the rats, all your friends and family.
No,
No
don't you
more.
dare it. Don't you dare touch Raoul.
Raoul is the first to die.
No.
We're gonna place him as like, a symbol so everyone knows what happens if they try to do a revolution. I'm on it, sword or axe. I think we should do the most torturous, especially to Raoul.
No.
Imagine having more feelings towards a rat than your own queen. Every time you gain some sort of affection towards anything, that thing is gonna die. Oh my god. I'm gonna be number one and only.
One and only.
Yeah.
Only queen.
Exactly. If you like your phone too much, it's going in the blender. Exactly. It have happened, I've recently his phone been vibrating a lot because he's gotten a lot of text messages. I've been staring at him like, what the fuck? Like, excuse me? Who are you talking to? Who's texting you? Apparently.
It's usually Duolingo.
Yeah. Or his parents. Apparently they wonder where he is. Ooh.
Ooh, where did you go?
Where is our
We
son?
haven't heard from you in a month. Where did you go?
Yeah, clearly you're not allowed to answer. Oh my god. Jokes aside, because clearly we're joking.
Of course.
Yes.
Naturally.
Naturally. Duolingo, and you will run over by the tingle. Damn, not like this. I mean,
Not the dingo.
he says he uses Duolingo, but I haven't heard his German get any better. Coincidence? Is he actually using the app, or is it just like a front for something else?
I do have a... How long is my streak? I do have a 495-day streak. So I'm doing something.
If you say so. German, you're burning. Damn. These jokes, man. Oh my god. Anyway. Oh. Oh, Tacy kann uns nicht verstehen. Ja. Verstehen Sie, ja?
Ja, ich verstehe dich.
Oh, dann. Und was?
Das Queen verstehst auch.
Queen?
I haven't gotten that far to know the word for queen.
Oh, I see. So the most important word isn't understood yet. I see.
Königin.
I guess we got a beheading to do.
Shop.
Shoppity shop.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
Yay! It's gonna be a public execution.
Oh, the best kind.
The best kind. I want everyone to fear me. When I think about it, maybe I should get myself like a professional murderer, not murderer, but like the executioner. The one who do the shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with the hood and the axe.
In Sweden during the witch trials, because I'm reading about the witch trials and witch process, but in Sweden during the 1600s, we didn't burn the witches, we beheaded the witches, and then we burnt the bodies. So the bodies were like one pile and the heads were one pile, and then you burnt them. But anyway, so there was like an executioner who would like behead all of them with an axe, and they had to like once you got that job, you needed to have that job until you yourself got executed for being either too old or whatever, because like once you have the job, it's your job forever. And so they had to like mark them, and to mark them they chopped off their ears, and that's why they had black hoods on, because they were embarrassed that they didn't have ears. I don't know if it was an embarrassment, to be honest, but I do know for a fact that they didn't have any ears, because it was the mark of an executioner.
I thought the hood was part of the uniform.
Oh yeah, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, so it's like a judge in Sweden. They have to keep the job for the rest of their lives. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, because it's like not many people wanted to have the job because it was not morally right to like kill people and stuff. So it was like they picked a person and they were like, okay, you will do it and you will have to do it for the rest of your lives, and you are you take care of all of these cities, because it wasn't like one per city. It was like one person per maybe 10 cities, and they had to like go around towards all the cities and like do the executions. um I just find that very interesting. It's because the witches all said, no, wait, lend me your ear and let me explain. I mean, maybe. I haven't read anywhere the reason why they took their ears off. It was just like part of the deal. But most people didn't want to have the job to begin with. And most people didn't want to like be close to a person who was an executioner, because they were like, oh, they do the killing, but they could also like, uh, say that you should be executed or something like that. So people, they usually were like very lonesome people with no friends nor family. Uh, mm. I'm so excited to lose my hearing. Yeah. But I
Let's
mean,
go.
just think about it, like the biggest mass trial in Sweden was like 77 women who were killed at the same time. Not same time, but like the same evening and same day. And they were all beheaded, and they were like, every time you behead someone, usually they will lose like 3 to 4 liters of blood. So it said that this hill in Sweden was like covered in blood, and it was like pouring down the hill from all the blood. And then it was like the family members were like screaming as they were like pushing them up towards these piles of fires, and the headless fire pit and all of that. Like, it sounds super gruesome. And speaking of, I really want to go to that hill one day. What do you say, Tay? Should we go on a trip and stand on the hill and be like, yeah, here people were murdered?
Going to places and watching corpses is kinda our summer thing.
It's kind of weird. We always go to different museums and look at cadavers.
Dead
It was,
people.
yeah, dead people. Yeah, they found last year. We went to a museum who they found like a man who had been like uh
Like executed in a
very specific way. Like he had like 3 nails or something, like into his
three
into
pikes.
yeah, like it was like one in his hip, one in his leg, and one in his like heart. And he was like hammered down into like a swamp, but the swamp kind of like kept him looking fresh, like a mummy. So when they like dug him up, like he is a couple of years, like a couple of 100 years old. I don't know, like 300-400 years maybe.
I think it was like 400 or 500,
Oh
and he
yeah.
still had his hair
Yeah, and skin and
and
everything.
skin.
Yeah, and they kind of like displayed him in like a windowed coffin. And it was kind of weird to just stand there and look at him and be like, dead
That was a
body.
person.
Yeah, this was a person, and this is how we treat them now. We like display them in a museum.
Yeah, they still had like the pikes inside him.
Yeah, he
They were
was.
still there.
Yeah, he was like they laid him like he was in the swampiness, and they put the pikes where they were supposed to be, and then you could like see his hair and his clothing and his skin, and he just looks. It looked like he was asleep, like he would like could come to life, but also very skinny, obviously. But it was kind of freaky. And like in the beginning, before going in, we were like, oh yeah, let's go look at the dead person. But then when you were there, it just felt weird to be there and look at it, because it kind of felt morally wrong.
Yeah, like how many centuries has to pass before it's okay to play with a dead body?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the same time, they were like, this was like a really gruesome way of executing someone. And they were like, we don't know what he did to deserve it, but usually it was something really, 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 really bad. So this man was most likely a really bad person, you know? Um, and they kind of like nailed him down with like the pikes because like they didn't want him to uh, rise up and come again, even in if he was supposed to be like undead or yeah. They could just as we will replace the corpse with a relica and show some decency by wearing the real cat. Yeah. Exactly. But it was odd, especially because when we went in there, there was like children's families. So they were like children who were like 4, 3, 5 years old. That was just like standing around going like, "Ooh, look, it's a skeleton, and he have hair." And I just felt like, oh, this is so wrong in so many ways.
Very macabre.
Yeah, definitely. But we found another museum that we're going to this year that also have a dead body in it.
Let's go.
And we're gonna go to that museum too. But it doesn't have hair or skin left. I think it's just a skeleton, but I'm not really sure. But even if it's just a skeleton, it always makes me feel like an unfunny feeling. I feel like it's the same with like mummies and stuff. Like when you see them in museums, you go like, I mean, we kind of dug them out from their graves where they had their resting place, and then we like shoved them into a museum because like mummies, am I right? And then people stare at them all day. It it's kind of weird when you think about it, because that was a person.
It was a good money to get some mummies.
Yeah, but I mean, we still do it to this day, though.
Yeah.
We're taking them from heaven and putting them in a museum or hell, in that matter. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a very religious person, but I still feel like, you should respect the dead and their wishes. And I mean, if they were buried in a specific way, that was their wishes to be buried, and that was like their religion and like their beliefs. And I feel like it's very wrong of us to just like go in and poke at someone's grave. It kind of feels very not respectful.
Yeah, that's a place of rest and peace.
Mm.
And then you go around and swing all your tools and stuff around.
Yeah. I don't know. I find it sad. But that's another tangent that we weren't supposed to talk about today.
No more dead bodies.
Mm-hmm.
We did read something, I think.
Oh, yeah, we did read something, indeed. We're gonna talk about Witch Hat Atelier today. I read like 4 or 5 volumes or something like that. I didn't have time to finish it all due to my readings. Other readings, my studying. And Tay read 6 volumes, I think.
5.
5, okay, yeah.
I am on volume 6.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see. So, usually we talk a little bit about spoilers and stuff, but clearly there's like 15 volumes, I think, 14 volumes. And we haven't gone that far, so we're not gonna talk too much about the spoilers. We're mainly gonna talk about what we have read, and some themes and discussion that I found when I read it. In the beginning, I was like really, really worried because I read it and I was like, oh, this is just so like it's a fantasy world, sure. There's some world building, sure. But it felt very like generic in the beginning, and I was like, damn, how will I find good enough, deep, good conversational things to talk about that could be a good discussion? But then I read some more and got into it a little bit more, and I actually found some very good discussional points and themes that I'm kind of happy about. Uh, as you saw Gina in chat, I don't know if Gina is still here, but she's sick today. Otherwise, I actually invited her to be part of this stream because many of the discussional points that I think I want to talk about and the themes I want to talk about would have been very interesting with her present because she works as a teacher in real life, and a lot of the themes is about educational and mentoring and teaching, which would have been interesting to have her point of view because she's work as one. I work in a school, but mainly as a librarian. I also work as a swim coach, which is kind of like a mentor, but not really at the same time. So I can't really speak on that as much. And Tay, well, you never really mentored anyone.
Not really.
No, he's a slave. What can he say? I'm mentoring you sometimes when I'm teaching you how to cook proper food.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still listening. Yeah, I know. But it would have been interesting with the discussion. But it's just sad that you're sick. So I hope you will get well soon. The magic system is the best I've found in every type of fantasy media. I just realized 10 people watching and 2 or 3 people chatting. I mean, we respect and like all viewers, even the lurkers. I'm a lurker myself. I kind of like never chat. I always is in like all my friends' streams, and I'm too shy to say anything. Also, sometimes, if I say something, people will always go like, oh my god, Queen, ooh, Ophelia, and I don't want to take away, people's focus of the one streaming, so I usually don't speak due to that as well. Maybe it's dumb, I don't know. Maybe I should speak. Being a teacher takes a lot of patience. Agreed. Let's see. I did write down some pointers, but to begin with, we can do like a spoiler-free summary of what a book is about or the series about for anyone listening that haven't read the actual manga and just is here to listen in. Witch Hat Atelier follows like a young girl named Coco who lives in a world where magic exists, obviously. But only a privileged few can learn it, and magic is guarded like a secret language, and ordinary people like Coco are told it's out of reach and they can't use it. But Coco has always been very fascinated with witches, and one day this mysterious incident involving forbidden magic changes her entire life forever. And she's kind of like whisked away to a secret atelier that, by the way, is just fancy word for a workshop. I had to look it up because I was like, And she's trained to be a witch under a very stoic mentor named Queefrey. I think that's how we pronounce it. At least that's how I pronounced it in my head. So Queefrey. From there, she is drawn into a world full of beauty, danger, and where the rules of magic aren't just about power, but about control, secrecy, and even sometimes morality that we have been speaking about with like dead people so far. So there is some morality talked in this series as well. A little bit about the author. Her name is Kamome Shirahama. Um, I clearly can't pronounce things, so please don't come for me. But she's a Japanese manga artist and illustrator. She has a background in art, design, and architecture, which I think you can see when you actually read the manga, because the architecture is very, very good. But you might have seen her other works in Western comics before, because she have done many covers. Can't speak today. For Marvel, DC, and even Star Wars, I think. I know she done for Marvel and DC at least. With the Witch Hat Atelier, Shirahama wanted to create a story where magic was visual but also logical at the same time. And her idea was kind of like, what if magic was drawn like calligraphy? And anyone could learn it if they just knew how to write and read. And that was kind of like her inspiration into creating this series, at least in an interview I read from her. And she said in other interviews that she was inspired by European storybooks, art, and even educational systems around in Europe. And the idea that knowledge is often restricted to those in power, which really interested her. Does Tay have anything to add?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I think the story. I think the world has an interesting magic system, and how they make the common people think that magic is something you're born with, something you can never achieve, but how Coco discovers that it actually is something for everyone. Information is something for everyone, and that can benefit everyone.
When we can speak a little bit about our what would you rate the manga series so far? Like, I know we haven't read all of them yet, but how do you rate them so far? If 5-star is like the best you have read, and 1-star is like shit, what would you rate the series so far, and why?
I would give it like between a 3 and a 4-star. I think I gave it a 4-star on Goodreads. But I do enjoy the story for what it is. It's quite similar to a lot of like series and movies I've watched from when I'm growing up and recent years, and I do like fantasy stories a lot. So having another, so I'm quite used to all the fantasy tropes and stuff, and seeing how they did the magic system. I haven't really seen that before. I've seen some similarities, like some mages using pencil and brushes to cast their spells, but nothing like this. But there are similarities out there, and I am gonna continue reading this after today, because I kind of want to know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the
So,
feeling.
so yeah, like so in the series, the mages uses calligraphy to cast their spells, like they draw runes on stuff,
Mm.
and they make contraptions, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've seen this kind of magic before. I also read a lot of fantasy worlds where magic is written. Because what I saw was like people were talking about this manga series was like it's so unique because they have never seen written magic before. I can tell you it's very, very, very common if you know where to look. And something that's really interesting that you said written runes. Even the Vikings used written runes with their vulva, which were the Viking kind of like mage back in the day that we actually believed in reality. Even the Swedish witches in the 1600s were talked about having some sort of like calligraphy esque kind of magic. It's also so a lot of Swedish fantasy actually have written magic that's based in runes. You can also see Howl's Moving Castle. Howl cannot use magic if it's not written. That's why he's making seals inside on the floor and outside with either written with different kind of inks or with salt and different kind of stuff. So there is a genre for written magic. So if there's something that's really interesting people, because I've seen a lot of people that's like, oh, this is great because I love the written magic word and blah blah. It's really cool. There is a lot of media out there to be consumed about this, which is good to know, I think.
You do use like sigils and runes in Full Metal Alchemist,
Yeah, I was gonna say like you
which I'm
also have the
also reading
yeah. Yeah,
at the moment.
Gina told him to read it. Yeah, they uses that there as well. To me, the unique part is how strict it is. No breaks, the established rules to be a story or solve the problem. Yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist also is kind of written magic. Exactly. Yeah. But I do find it like as a librarian, I do love everything that's based around the written world and books. I don't know if you guys have read the light novel and manga and anime ROD or Read or Die, which is basically about girls who love to read and they have like a paper magic where they can like they can swoosh swoosh with the paper and books. I don't know how to explain it, but
Did you
they
like characters with the paper? What? Like you
yeah.
fold them?
I mean, sure, they kill people with books and paper cuts. It's kind of cool. It's like an action anime, but with like book bending, I guess.
Is it like that a gumball scene in the library?
Oh
Where they like
yeah,
blast each other by opening books?
yeah, but no. This is actually more like, you know, if I would like look at a paper and then I could like make it super sharp and like go swoosh swoosh in the air. So it's more like actually paper bending, and then they can use like books in the library to make them float and other kind of stuff. It's kind of cool. I'm really into book magic and anything close to that, so that makes me very happy. mm.
The
But
librarian liking book magic.
I know. Who would have thought? Amazing, isn't it? But I also gave this, I think I gave it the first one 3 stars because I wasn't really invested in the first one. I was like, yeah, I guess so. Because I felt like the first volume, it's a very big introduction, right? So it's going to like introduce you to both the world, the magic system, all the other side characters, and give you the background story for you to then get into the actual plot. Plot. Oh my god, that was a weird accent there. So I felt like the first volume was just like a 3, but then like the second one and the ones after there were more like a 4, I think. So
Can agree that the beginning was kind of slow for me too.
yeah, I mean, it was very slow, but at the same time, I do like a good slow burn. But it felt like it was very slow in the beginning, and then when you got to the interesting parts, it was very, very fast and very, very quick. So I felt like, the pacing was kind of weird in the beginning before I got into it because I felt like the daily things were like given so much room and so many pages, and then when you got to the interesting things with like the fighting and like the magic and everything, it was like, oh shit, we only have like 2 pages left, so we have to like make it as quick as possible. And they were like, just brushing over things that I would have wanted more of. But I'm also guessing like that's a way of telling a story that you're starting out slow and building slowly upwards, and giving a little bit of detail all the time, because then you keep people interested and invested in the story, but you don't give them everything yet because you want them to continue to read. And I think it's just like a pet peeve of mine that, when pacing is not optimal, I think. And I think it's just like a thing that, if you read a lot, that's something that stands out to you very easily, I think. Because I want to get into a story in a good way and not just feel like, oh, this is boring, but I have to get through this to then get to the plot. So I have to go through this boring, slow-paced, uphill first volume. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do get that feeling with a show I really loved as a child, Avatar: The Last Airbender. You
Yeah.
know that one?
Yeah, I know.
Because cause, cause the entire season 1, when I first saw it as a child, I did like it and all that. But when you rewatch it when you're older, and like the entire Avatar team, you also need the Toph, the Earthbender girl,
Yeah,
and not just the 3 of them.
yeah.
So like, and you do wanna see like the cool bending fights, but season 1 is like a lot of building up. Like we need to. Ang is a good airbender, he got this, but we need to first slowly but surely teach him to bend water. We need to go from this place to this place. We need to find him a master. We need to get to the South Pole, and you get a lot of pieces, and when you actually have gone through it, you're glad you have the pieces.
Yeah.
But picking up the pieces might not be the best experience.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Yeah. But it's like, like for example, like the first book, if we're going to talk about the first book because that's the slowest book of them all, right? And the first book, there's like this long chapter where, with the carriages from, the wealthy people who are there, and, the Pegasus carriages, and, all of that. And they're in the shop where they're doing all the cloth work, for her mom and everything. And he helps to fix the carriage and everything, and then he leaves. Then she decides, she's like, oh, that's how you make magic, because she didn't know how to make magic. So she picks up the book and she draws the magic. But the actual panels that you have of her doing the magic and then her mom turning into stone due to her magic, by the way, that's like 2-3 pages, and then you have like 35 pages of just random daily slice of life. And I understand that you're doing that to like build up her as a character, where she's from, her relations, how it looks like, all of that. But then when it actually gets really, really interesting, for example, her mom turning into stone, I would have wanted more panels of that. It would have like, I would have wanted to see more, because like basically he saves her mom turns into stone, she sees her mom turn into stone, and then he's like, oh well, you're now an apprentice, let's leave. And then he takes her to the magical world, and just leave her mom stonified. And
Maybe.
she doesn't really mourn. She's more like, oh, I'm afraid of magic now because of what it can do. But she's not really mourning a dead / stoned mom? Question mark?
Well, it's not a guarantee that she's dead, but still really scary, turning mom to stone.
Yeah. But like when it actually something actually happens, they don't have that many panels or that many pages of it, but it's like very rushed forward. It's like, oh shit, we only have this many pages left because we put so much effort into painting that deer, with the lake in the beginning, because it was so beautiful and aesthetically pleasing. So then when we actually got to the interesting plot points, we don't have the panels or the pages, so we have to do it really, really fucking fast. That's kind of how I felt it. Like, okay, finally something happens, and then it's like, oh, okay, that was it.
It feel like it was a montage, but in a book, so you only have limited pages. So, oh, this mage guy, he fixed the flying carriage by drawing a sigil on it. That means the magic is something you draw, and you get like a few pictures of her drawing things from her magic book, and then
Yeah.
oh, she made a little fireball, she made something glow, mom is stone.
Yeah. Yeah, but like if you take like the same incident, let's say Full Metal Alchemist, because we were talking about it. When they make they were like trying to get the mom back, but then they kind of like messed it up because you can't like bring someone back from the dead. And then he has to give his arm, and then his little brother ends up in the armor suit. That was like a lot of panels. There were like a lot of emotion during that. There was like crucial and traumatic. And I felt like this should have been as big of like a crucial background thing and traumatic experience for her enough to have that. There are many flashbacks and various amounts of gore emotion. Exactly. And I feel like, that was a better way of doing it in storytelling than just like a few. Like, I think we have two shots of the mom. One when she's like looking out and trying to get away from the house, looking out, and then the next one she's just turned into stone, and then Queefree is just like, oh yeah, I guess you maybe can save her, but we don't know yet, but there is a way. Do you want to be my apprentice? And she's like, I guess. And then they just leave her there, and I'm like, okay. If I would have turned my mom into a Medusa stone person, I would maybe found it a little bit more traumatic, and it would have been like a key moment of me as a character. It would have been like, a core memory. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been a 2-panel memory. It would probably have been a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's kind of a big deal doing that.
I
Little
would
girl
think so.
doing that to your mom. But
I,
then just quickly comes, swoops her off, put down some kind of thorn barrier, and like, off we go.
yeah, exactly. I just felt like, it was when you got into like, okay, now we can actually talk about emotions, so we can talk about trauma, or we can talk about like, oh shit, this happened, and we can have like a learning experience. I felt like it was just like rushed to the next thing, like she wasn't allowed to, have that traumatic core memory and be traumatized. Not that I want people to be traumatized, but like that would be human, right? And you would like have her be sad, or like she was afraid of magic because she was afraid what I was going to do, but she was not afraid enough of magic to not. She was like really excited to jump right back into it and be like, yeah, I'm gonna be a witch now. I just kind of turned my mom into stone 2 hours ago, and I was brought to this atelier and is now an apprentice. And I said I'm a bit scared of magic, but I'm still going to try magic straight away. Like, if I would have messed up that bad that my mom turned into stone and died, because technically, she died. Uh, I don't know if I would have wanted to do magic for a few days, a week. I would have to be really like, convinced to actually try again, because I would have been so scared to do wrong, because she experienced the worst thing that can happen if you mess up with magic or you use the wrong magic. Even if he's like, oh, this is safe magic to use, I would still be very like cautious and be like, oh, I don't know. But she's just like jumping straight into it. Yeah, they're escaping to not get caught in the spell. I know, but they get into like, and then it's just like it never happened. That's the thing that bothers me, that that happened, they escape, sure, but then it's just like, oh, but you can do beautiful things like this, and he do like some rose petals and stuff, and she's like all sparkly, googly eye, going like, oh my god, that's amazing, that's so cool, I do want to do that. And suddenly she's an apprentice and her mom is long gone from her memory. I find that weird.
I'm so motivated to save my mom.
Yeah. I mean, technically that's what they're leading on, that she's going to save her mom, but it's weird to me. And she becomes an apprentice and jumps with all into magic to learn to save her mom. Mom is not that just, but I know, but still, I don't know. If you look at, for example, Harry Potter, when they do things that will like, oh shit, they also got scared of magic. If you take, for example, like horse riding, if you fall down a horse and you hurt yourself really fucking bad, this very natural thing to get scared of going up and sitting up on the horse again, you know. But at the same time, people always say you have to get up on the horse really quickly again, because otherwise you're going to be like scared for a longer time. So it's better to just do it fast. But like here, we just like, I don't know. It felt like there were no actual human feelings behind it, just very naive, I forgot about my mom very fucking quickly kind of feelings. I don't know. It should have been very traumatic and character defining, but it's tested like a random Tuesday. Exactly, that's how I feel. It's just like, oh, that happened. Oh, well, I guess I should just be super fucking good at magic now and just like get really good at it, and then I will save mom. Okay. What if you can't? You know, if I would have been in that, you know, situation, I would be like, why can't Queefrey save her? If he's not good enough to save her, how the fuck am I gonna be good enough to save her? That means I have to be better than him at it, right? Because he couldn't do anything about it, but he's gonna teach me how to do it, but he couldn't do it. So I suddenly have to be better than him. Wouldn't you have anxiety and just feel like, will you ever be good enough to actually save?
Yeah, all that stuff is not really things that brings the anxiety down, more like up and away.
It should be like super stressful. Like, you know, I would have been traumatized for a long time and just feel like, will I ever be good enough to do this? You know? Instead, she's just like, you know, oh my god, I can do a little bit of magic now with water. Or whatever. She's just so happy and dandy, and I'm like, what happened with the trauma about your mom? What happened with the background story? It should have been more core defining, I feel like. But I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just, you know, that it's just things, small things that I pick up on. I am not a huge fantasy lover. I was when I was a teenager, but at the moment I'm not huge on fantasy. I do love Lord of the Rings. That's probably like the only thing that I feel like, woo, yay. But I really enjoy things that's very like true to life, and that's why things like human relations, human reactions, human psychology, human, you know, more human things that I react on. So when I read it, that's just a thing that stands out to me, that, you know, yeah. I mean, she did cry in one panel for her mom. She was like, oh. And then he took her home and she saw water magic and she was like, I forgot who my mom is. And then she's just like, you know, all happy and dandy and sparkling eyes everywhere. Like, magic is so cool. Oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. Wait, I mean, sure. But what the fuck? I just find it really interesting. But yeah, some of the discussion topics that we haven't even looked at yet. So let's up the other discussion and themes that I did see. You guys can share your thoughts in chat or comment if you like. Otherwise, me and Tay will just talk, I guess. One of the core themes that I did see was knowledge and gatekeeping. Like, one of the big ideas in the manga that I could see is that magic isn't about, like, you know, talent, like initiate talent that, you know, everyone, like, you know, you're born with it, blah blah. It's like it's about who is allowed to learn it and who is allowed to read and write. And then, you know, the idea is like, do you see real world parallels in how knowledge or creativity is limited to just a certain people? You know, how like education is just a privileged thing and some information is being gatekeeping. Because I feel like when I read it, that's kind of like how I felt the magic system is. I felt like they're gatekeeping it for certain people and only certain people may learn it. What do you think?
Yeah, I did see some similarities from the real world. You know, back in the day when the Bible was only in Latin, and you kind of had to go to church and trust the priest and the people in the church,
Yeah.
what the word of God is, and education was only for a select few privileged people, and you could easily, by using their ignorance, you could easily say to people, oh, God wants this, God wants that, you should do this. You could easily manipulate people because they couldn't read the word of God, but the priest can, and the priest can write and read, so he can't lie, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, you know, obviously the educational system is a lot better now, you know, in some countries, I can add. Because, you know, kids in most countries do go to school at some sort. But, you know, back in the day and in some countries, they don't have an educational system at all. And then it is just like, you know, a select few who has information and is privileged enough to know things. Also, how women aren't allowed to study or read because they could get ideas. Exactly. I mean, because their fragile minds couldn't take all the information. I mean, back in the day, it was also like, you know, a librarian, it was only men who could be a librarian because women, uh, first of all, they can't read all sorts of literature. They can only read a select few kind of literature because other literatures they couldn't handle due to their fragile minds. So you couldn't be a librarian because a librarian needed to know all the literature. But today it's the other way around. Today it's very rare to see a male librarian. I do have one at my job and he's weird as fuck. And all the male librarians I have met are weird as fuck, to be honest. Not that it actually matters, but I'm just saying they're weird.
You have made some observation.
I've made some observation and I just feel like if you're a male and you're trying to be a librarian, it's probably something weird with you. I don't know why. Like all the female librarians are normal, but then the male ones are just like heavy breathing Discord mods who haven't seen a woman IRL, you know?
I know the type.
Yeah.
I've heard your stories about people.
Yeah, I mean the guy who works at the library I'm working at right now, he sometimes stands behind me and he kind of like breathes down my neck and then I have to like turn around and be like, "Can you please not stand so close to me?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot." And then, you know, he goes away and then you can hear like in your neck again. Like, bro, stop
It came back.
breathing on me. And he also like comes and he has to like touch me all the time, and he's like, "Oh, I can do that for you. I can carry that for you. I'm strong." Every male librarian I met have been like that, and it's you. You.
I'm a strong, manly man.
Yeah, ew, no. But yeah, I kind of feel like, you can see some parallels, at least to this story, in the gatekeeping of the magic, in gatekeeping information, and education for that matter. Because back in the day, it was also like you needed to have enough money to be able to afford a good education. In some countries, that still is a thing. I mean, I don't know how much America pays, but like, you do pay for university and college. In Sweden, it's free. Anyone can go to college and university for free here, due to our very high taxes. But like in some countries, you still have to pay for it, and not every family can pay for all of their kids and children to go to college. So technically, I mean, it is a privilege thing to be able to go, and education is being not really gate kept, but it's still like, in that peripheral that just some people may attend it.
Yeah, the high cost is definitely a way to gatekeep information.
And another thing that I thought was really interesting when we read the book is, uh, usually, when it comes to fantasy books, you have a magical system, and then you have some rules and blah, 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 blah. But something that was really interesting in this is it's very prompted that the magic in this world is extremely strict, and it has extreme strict rules on what you can do and what you can't do, and it's like if you break them there will be consequences, and they are super harsh. In other magical books or fantasy books, it's like, there are consequences to not doing this, but like the hero still does it because he have to do something specific, and even if he did it, they were like, oh, he did it for a good cause, so no consequences, and they get away with it. But I kind of felt like in this magical system there are consequences. But something that I started thinking about is like, who decide what's forbidden and not forbidden? Maybe that will be told later on, and I haven't gotten to that part yet. But do you
Yeah.
think there's like a laws of magic protecting people? Like in Harry Potter, you have like, the consoles and everything. Or do you think it's to protect people from magic, or do you think it's to control people who do magic? Mm-hmm.
I think their laws are a bit of both, because you know, any magic that affects the body is banned. So even from the witches back in the day use like healing potions and healing magic.
Yeah.
That's not allowed anymore. But also the magic that turns your body into stone is banned too, because that also affects the body, obviously.
Yeah.
So not being able to affect the human body directly is some kind of safeguard, but also it's some kind of safeguard, but you could also say is kind of controlling, because that kind of magic is super powerful.
Yeah.
Just to instantly heal a wound or instantly kill someone, that is very powerful. So I think it's a bit to keep the power levels down for the common witch, and to keep everybody more safe, because someone with that knowledge can do a lot of damage.
I think it's like one of the few fantasy books or magical systems where I've read where one of the rules is you're not allowed to heal people. Because usually that's like one of like, 101 magic, how to save people or how to help someone who's wounded, because you want to help people. Like, it's a positive and a good kind of magic. It's very interesting that they're still like, but it still affects the body. And if you're hurt, and then it's time to die. I found that really interesting because technically it's not, something negative. Because what can be the negative of saving a human life or magical life? Right?
I thought that was a really weird, like, if I made the rules, if I was their king or whatever they have, I would make an exception, oh, this guy can make this super powerful healing potion. That's cool. But instead they just like all the healing knowledge, like it died with the witches that practice it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a huge loss for all of humanity.
But because it's also like, I can't see it as ever being negative. Like, okay, I can understand like prolonging your life and like, wanting to have a life forever and ever and never die, be eternal. Like, sure, that makes sense that would be forbidden, because that's not natural. But like healing wounds and saving people who are hurt and just making them have a life a bit longer. I found like, it interesting that, that's forbidden. You're not allowed to heal a broken bone. In Secret of the Silent Witch, they have the same restriction on magic and it's used. I see. I haven't read that one yet. It's on my TBR, but I haven't read it yet. But it seems to be a good light novel. But yeah, I find it very interesting though, because it's such a positive thing to save something. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like, the only thing that comes to my mind is, religion. When religious people are like, you were meant to die at this point. You were meant to have a broken bone. If, you're gonna live forever, or if you're gonna get through this sickness, only God can help you and you should not play God. That's the only thing that comes to my mind, to not play God yourself.
Yeah, I can see that angle, but they haven't really talked about any religion or anything like that. So that decision to ban all body magic is kind of weird.
Maybe it's that easy. They want to have a war, and if people can heal themselves, they don't die.
I mean, if you ban the healthcare, like the super healthcare, it must be to cool the population.
Yeah, that's
In my
my thought.
opinion,
Yeah, that's what I think as well. So
like
I kind of
if you
feel
can't,
like that part of that restriction of not being able to heal or save people, I feel like that is extremely controlling in who dies and who doesn't die. Like if there is this knowledge and it's not allowed to be used, isn't that like, because I bet that if someone very high up do get sick, I bet someone will heal them, because they're very high up on some ladder. But the common people don't get that treatment for some reason, because there's too much population or something.
because traditional medicine is still allowed, all of it. You can grind up your herbs to make your potions. You can make your vaccines. You can make your cough medicine. All of that is still available for people, but
Yeah.
that probably costs money too.
Yeah.
So poor farmer Joe is out of luck.
Yeah, he doesn't get any help whatsoever. Look at us having conspiracy theories.
It's all about the big magic is against us.
Also, if it's still banned if you're healing the royal family or or if that's fine. Exactly, that's what I mean. Someone who's higher up on the ladder probably, gets to be healed. You said it as I was typing it. But that's just a theory, a book theory, exactly.
A book theory.
As we said, we only read like 4 or 5 books, so we don't know that much. One scenario could be that the type of body magic could just as easily be weaponized and has become deemed too dangerous for that reason. I think there was an incident in the past. I see. I haven't seen anything about that yet. That's why I'm asking. Because I just feel like that's very controlling in like, we can save people, but like, we won't. It just feels like very like ethical, like, imagine that you know how to save someone and they're dying in front of you and you're like, oh, I can't. But they like, but you can. And he's like, no, I can't. Like, ethically, I just feel like if I could save someone, I would try to save someone. Right?
I would do too. Like they had the tools, but they kind of destroyed them when they killed all the witches and burned all their knowledge.
Yeah. But I mean, it's kind of like the same, because like the witches in reality now, on the 1600s, they were like, these wise women or wise people who know a lot about herbs, and they could like heal people and stuff with herbs. They could not, like, obviously not heal everything, but they knew a lot about like the Swedish wilderness and the nature and what that could do to help us. After all those people, all those women, all those wise women were murdered, Sweden actually had a loss in healing stuff, like natural healing things in the 1600s, because we killed everyone who knew something about something, and the people that did know something about the something didn't wish to speak out, so they died with that knowledge. So it's not until like recent years when we had to start like researching again from scratch about all the medical things that we can do with nature and everything. And I find it's really interesting that, we kill everyone who knows anything about it, and then, we lose at it still.
I think it's kind of sad when knowledge is lost, especially useful knowledge.
Do you speak to people in paragraphs and super efficient? Yeah. German people are super efficient. They just structure sentences and stuff like that. That's just how they do. Another thing that I was thinking about was like mentorship. Here we go into the interesting parts, in my opinion. But Coco and the other apprentices, the other girls, they form like a bond with each other. Like in the beginning, the dark-haired one, she's a little bit of a bitch, but like understandably so. She's like, don't come here and fuck things up, with your non-educated mind or whatever.
Outsider perspective.
Yeah, she's like, fucking peasant, stick to what you're good at, and that's not witchcraft. But after a while they still like form a big bond, and each one carries like some sort of emotional baggage of some sort. Not that we see enough of it, I want to point out again, because I really want to see more of that trauma and baggage that they all have. But Queefrey himself is more complex than what he first appears to, because in the beginning I was like, God damn, he's so carefree, so naive, and he's like, ugh, you know. But then the more you get to know him, he's more complex as, you know, a character, and I appreciate that he has like many facades to him, and he's not very straightforward. Which character's backstory hit you the hardest? And what do you think of Queefrey's complexity?
Well, at first I thought like Quifrey was gonna be like this standard do good nice guy angle, like, oh, he's good at magic and he's nice. So I thought I didn't think he was gonna be like, I didn't think they were gonna go so deep with him. But as the story progresses, you kind of see that he goes behind the scenes to get his information. He wants to learn about the witches that does the forbidden magics, and he wants to learn more about them. He wants to find them. He wants to. I think he's searching for something. I don't think he's searching for power per se.
Yeah.
But the witch that gave Coco the magic book when she was a few years younger, I think Quifrey has some kind of relation with him, and he wants. I do. Here is my prediction that.
Yeah.
I think Quifrey is looking for his brother.
Yeah.
That's a witch that practices forbidden magic. Because when he catches the other quote unquote the bad witch, he like says, "Oh, have you seen a witch that looks like me?" and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really go anywhere. So I think so. He is obviously looking for something, but.
Or someone.
Or someone, but what his goal is with them, I don't know. I don't think he's looking for power, but he's looking for some kind of knowledge.
Yeah. Do you think he's a good guy? Because like in the beginning, we get this, and he's like super nice, and he's good looking, obviously, and he's so charming, and he has this not labradoodle, but he has like a very very like dog kind of facade, like, naive, happy guy. He's just happy to be
Golden
there.
retriever.
Kind of like a golden retriever, exactly. And he giving us like he's a kind teacher, and he's so scared for the girls, and he cares for the girls, and he wants to teach them, and he's super nice and a good like mentor or whatever. But then we're giving like glimpses of his own trauma and his memories, and his motives into looking whatever it is he's looking for. Like, is he still a good mentor if he's like manipulating events or manipulating people just to get his goal? Like, is he protecting the girls by you doing that? Because like he's not giving them all the information, he's not telling them everything. Is he doing it to protect the girls, or is he doing it to use them to get whatever it is he's looking for, whatever it is he wants?
I do get the feeling that he's he's gonna use them. He's gonna get all his apprentices on his side, because we kind of have gotten like these two factions, the good witches, with the guy with the angel wings in their hats, and all the knights and the royalty, and then you have the what did they call those kind of witches?
The brim?
The
No?
the brimmed hats,
Yeah, yeah.
So we kind of get, so they like introduce these two factions, but the way Quifrey interacted with the knights and how he chooses to live outside the great halls where all the other witches are. I think he's doing his own thing. He's doing his own races.
Yeah, I
So
think I think he has some kind of like motives for everything he's doing, but like, we don't know what he's thinking. The girls don't know what he's thinking, so we can't really, see beside that. But like, he comes off to be like a good mentor and a good teacher to the girls and the apprentices. But like, one thing that stood out to me, do you remember when Coco did her like trial? Because like, that girl, I don't remember her name now, but she was like, you have to do this to be an apprentice, otherwise you can't live here. And she goes into this like, portal, and she's doing the trial. And when Quifrey comes back and the other girls and the other apprentices tells him that she's in here doing the trial, his first reaction wasn't actually, oh shit, she can be harmed, poor little girl, she doesn't know much, to like take care of herself. But his first reaction is, I need her alive to find this. Like, he says, like, I don't remember exactly the words he said, but I saw it. Because he was like,
Yeah.
I need her alive to do this, because he needs her memory and her eyes, and dead, she's no good to him. And I saw that sentence and I kind of went, oh, okay, so he kind of is using her though to get whatever it is he wants. Like, obviously he probably makes some sort of bond with them, but his first initial reaction was, I need her alive to get what I want. So he's kinda a little bit using her, and probably the others as well, for his own gain.
I just got an idea. You know how they have like memory wiping magic and stuff?
Yeah.
What? Because Coco, she looked at that book with the forbidden magic all the time during the years. So maybe they want to access her memories, like steal her memories,
Yeah.
and recreate the book with the forbidden magic.
Most likely something like that, but then again, she's no use to him or them if she's dead. Personally, I think Queefrey isn't bad. Yeah, I don't think he's bad, and I don't think he wants to be manipulative, but I think that he has an agenda and a motive and his trauma in things that he wants. And he's not scared of doing whatever it takes to get it,
Yeah.
He's more of a nice person that has some kind of fucked up past. Yeah, exactly. There's something that he's looking for and something that he needs, and he's just trying to get the knowledge and information that he can from it. And I think that, initially he's just a really cool, nice, kind guy. He's probably a good mentor and everything. But there are parts in the story that makes me question how much he actually cares for some characters, because he says some some sentences sometimes that's just you know. It makes
That's
you
also very
think.
nice.
Yeah, and I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there is something that he's looking for and something he want to do, clearly.
Yeah, his goals definitely don't align with the rest of the witches. That's why he's out doing his own thing.
I don't know if you guys have discussed it, but my favorite thing about the manga is how realistic the children are. We haven't really discussed it. The only thing that we discussed is how we're brushing off traumatic events and trauma responses, and how they're not very realistic trauma responses in trauma events in the manga. But I do agree that how they interact with each other and how they speak and how they think is very childlike. Like, I agree with that. The only thing that bothers me is how the trauma responses aren't very human and more whatever, we toss it behind us kind of thing. It's not always good or bad. The real good and interesting characters are somewhere in between. Yeah, I feel like, he's a very human character. I don't think he's 100% good, and he's definitely not 100% bad. He's just like a very, not morally gray, but he is a gray character. And I feel like that's the most human characters that we can have. And that's what I like about him. The first volumes, I went, ugh, he's just like an all cool golden retriever guy, and he's just so happy and dandy, and everything is fine, and everything gonna be good, And then the further we get into the story, the more complex he gets, and I like that. That's probably my favorite thing about this entire manga is the complexity about his character and his personality, and how he isn't all good and not all bad. He's just human, and he does whatever humans do. Like, usually children in anime are either super smart or really cutesy and stupid. Like Coco and her insecurities are so realistic. Yeah, I agree. There's not a lot of authors who knows how to make realistic children. I feel like another example is Ascendant of a Bookworm, because the author to that light novel that, manga and anime later on as well, she researches, that sounds really bad, but she has children herself. She has daughters, and she based mine on her child, and she uses like, okay, she's this age, but then of course it's an isekai, so it's kind of like not the same, but like the side characters who are children, she kind of bases a lot on her own children, which is very realistic as well. I think it's hard to write good children though, because like, you think a child's gonna behave and be in one way, but then in reality it isn't, Children in anime are dramatic. Yeah, definitely, for sure. Did I just get a host? Oh, it was a raid. Welcome. It looked so weird.
Yeah,
I saw the text and I was like, what the fuck does that mean?
I saw that come up and was like, what's happening?
Hello, raiders. I've never been raided before, so I don't know how to act. Tay, you say something.
Raise your shields, defend the kingdom from the raiders.
Defend the kingdom, bodyguards. Yes, grab your axes. Yes. I think it's good raiders, though. I don't think we have to murder them.
I mean, raiders kinda mean word.
Hello, we raid with axes. Well, my first thought goes to Lord of the Rings. You may have my axe and
And
my
my axe.
bow. Also, hello. We will fight to death. That's how we do in my kingdom. We fight until we die. Except for me, of course. I will watch on a secure balcony.
You will watch the games in the Colosseum.
Yeah. I will make sure they write good songs about you guys.
But only if you die cool.
Ophi will watch with a grin on her face. Yeah. The more people that die, the better. Oh my god, no.
Look at all this blood.
Yeah, we only die after we are killed.
People die when they're killed.
Damn, I didn't know. It reminds me of like there's this like comedy video, a Swedish comedy video of like some children playing in the forest. And one of the kids, he basically say, "I'm gonna kill you until you don't live anymore." And it's such a kid thing to say, you know, I'm gonna kill you until you don't live anymore.
I'm gonna kill you to death.
Yeah. Like, no shit. I think that's kind of what unaliving means, but okay.
It can sound good in the moment, but it's like this. What the hell?
Yeah. In Swedish it would be jag ska döda dig tills du inte lever längre. It's so good. It sounds like something I will say. I'm 23. Oh no. In our kingdom, it's kill or be killed. Take your pick. Oh my god. Our kingdom sounds horrible. But not for me, of course, because I'm queen.
I mean, you're either alive or you're dead.
Yeah. Jag
It's
ska
like
döda
that
dig
everywhere.
tills du dör. It's such a good sentence. And you know, 2 seconds after that, he's like, you know, because they're pretending to be at a war each other, like, you know, in a war in the forest, and they go, yeah, they go pew 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 pew, you know, with pretend bullets and pistols, and then the other one is like, I had a magical shield, you can't hit me, and then they start fighting for real, like, no, you can't do that. Ophi, you're the person who trained us to do this. Yeah. You either die for me or you die for treason. If I decide that we're going to war, you better prepare yourself.
Prepare your weapons.
I feel bad story children are only used to trigger the reader's protection reflexes. I don't get that at all in Witch Hat Atelier. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Forced us to train. It's like in Mulan, I will make a man out of you. Oh, did you hear, by the way, that they Disney Plus removed the song "Make a Man Out of You" in Mulan because it's sexist. So if you watch Mulan on Disney, the app, the song doesn't exist anymore because it's too sexist.
Yeah, I read the title of an article about that.
Mm,
It's
mm.
such a shame.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's my
And Mulan
favorite
is like
song.
Mulan is like one of my favorite Disney movies, and that's a banger song. Like what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah. And they couldn't make a man out of you. Look at you.
What?
You watched that movie so many times and you thought your purpose was to be a cross-dresser, not to become a man. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just joking with you.
Damn.
Now put a skirt on.
Okay. Yes, queen.
I have a Sailor Moon cosplay. I really want to see Tate put it on.
Oh,
Can you be my personal Sailor Moon?
I know what we're doing tonight.
I want you to do the little twirl with the Swedish song of it
The
too.
Swedish
I
intro song.
jättelånga flätor, sådär 14 år och
Oh, I have to rewatch to learn the moves, but yes.
I'm not a man, I'm a dog. Oh, I see, I see. Mm. And it's also used to build up how the soldiers see war to then conflict with the reality right after. It's kind of important. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yeah, yeah. Stuff is going down tonight, I hear. Well, I'm not sure I'm gonna be part of it though because I'm going to bed early. I'm going to work tomorrow morning. You can do whatever you want in the moist dungeon.
With my little Sailor Moon outfit.
Oh my god, will you make the rat Raoul into you know, the masked guy? Hmm?
Raoul will be him,
Who
and
will
and Raoul's wife Felina. Who can that be?
Felina? Oh my god, all these names on your rats.
My rat lore goes deep.
I hear, I hear. Oh my god. Well, another thing, by the way, that I wrote up about the manga, just moving away from the rat discussion, back to the
Again.
manga discussion. There's something that I read in an article about the author. Was that she wanted to tell a story about learning and creation as freedom. That she built a world where knowledge is magic and key, and where power to create can either be a tool or a weapon against other people, depending on who's allowed to use it, which I thought was really interesting. And that Coco represent that belief that anyone can create beauty and reshape the world and make their own meaning, even if the system says they're not worthy to do so. And I thought that was kind of like a beautiful thing to create, but it's also like hard. I feel like, you know, like she definitely have stuff to bite into when it comes to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Or will you tell us to say we're gonna work even though you forces us to do manual labor in secret? Oh, I wasn't supposed to say the illegal part and Raiders were... No, we don't do manual labor. None of you guys, I promise. Gina, behead them. Drag
Come
them
on.
into the dungeon for the execution.
Chop chop.
Yeah.
We need some heads to drop.
Indeed. We don't do it willingly. Well, who's gonna, be working the tea farms? Someone has to be out in the farms and taking, the tea leaves for my personal tea time. I can't be out on the farms myself. You get some sort of pay, You get like a loaf of bread a month. I think that's very generous of me.
But who doesn't want to make tea, right? So of course
Yeah.
everyone is doing it willingly.
Exactly. I asked someone, do you want to be paid to pick these leaves? And he said no. And then I just decided that, okay, no one will get paid.
Everybody loves this. They do it because it's fun.
They do it because they love me. That's what I heard. See, even Gina said shop very happily. She wants to shop heads off. She wants the farmers to be complaining so she can kill them. It's more fair if nobody gets paid. Exactly. You get paid by seeing your beautiful queen drink tea. I think that should be enough.
Can I gaze from your farm up on the balcony on the castle?
I have God on my side. Psh, I also have God on my side. He's called Bijinte in our country. That's why I have golden eyes, because he blessed me. He also,
Power of anime and God.
technically, according to lore, I can hear him talking in my head. It's either insanity or that I'm chosen by God. Who knows?
Obviously God. No crazy people here.
You guys need to be checked. Oh, Tay, do we need to be checked?
Checked for what? Checked for perfection, perhaps?
Yeah. I feel like we're the perfect streamer people. I
If you hear
mean,
stuff in your head, you're never alone.
I was checked, the results weren't good. Oh, who let inspection into the country? What?
It sounds like something we should outlaw.
I didn't know I was secretly in a psychopath gathering. Huh? Huh?
Where's the psychopath?
I would never. What? I'm not a psychopath. Or am I? No, not really. I'm an empath. I'm not.
You have learned empathy.
People say, oh, she reads so many books. She must be very smart because she reads so many books. You don't get smart by reading books, but you get very empathetic by reading books because you can put yourself in other people's perspective and see it from their point of view. And the more you read, the more empathetic you get. And I read 300 books a year. I'm the most empathetic person in this world, and I will stand by that.
And by knowing how to put yourself in someone else's shoes, you know what makes them the most uncomfortable.
I know torture very well. Psychological torture. I mean, huh? Gina have checked and we're all good. See, Gina, my royal knight, she's been checking and it's all good in the hood. If my right hand says it's good on the streets, it's definitely good on the streets. Why do I feel like I am Marie Antoinette right here when I'm just like saying everyone is screaming, we're starving, and I'm like, eat cake?
But your right hand did do an independent and non-biased research, so we all is good in the kingdom.
Exactly. You just have cake, guys. What the fuck? And if you don't have a house, just buy a house. Duh.
Just buy a house.
I mean, what do you mean you're homeless?
Just buy a house, duh. And if you don't have money, you just get rich, you know?
Exactly. Just work. Duh. Oh my god. They're so funny that they're legit people on TikTok saying these exact things and they're 100% serious. That kind of freaks me out that there are actually people out there having these thought processes and they sit down, record a video, edits the video, upload the video, and they think to themselves, damn, I slayed.
This was a banger.
They're so out of touch, you know? Oh my god. There's been so many Marie Antoinette on TikTok that it's crazy. The modern Marie Antoinette is such a big thing. Oh my god. I think I've gone through all the themes that I wanted to talk about. There was like another thing that was like, you know, what does the manga say about responsibilities of teachers? Like, you know, can we, but there's like so much to talk about it, you know, like how they're responsible for the children, both like their well-being, but also like, you know, their education
Mind.
and their future, you know, like they basically take care of them, like, you know, 100%, so their responsibilities are very, very high. And I don't know, I feel like, you know, it's a very good book. If a book, this is a good series when it comes to society and educational purposes and educational systems and corrupt educational systems and gatekeeping information and what it is to be an actual mentor. And I don't know, I feel like it's a good series and I will definitely keep reading it, but I could sadly not read all of the volumes today due to all the books I needed to read for my summer course because I'm so behind on the reading there. But yeah.
Yeah. I am really enjoying this series, and I do love just the visual design of everything, like how you write the magic, how all the building looks, how their clothes looks. I think the story itself is really interesting.
I also like, you know, usually, you know, usually a lot of manga artists doesn't care so much about like the background or background characters when they're like painting. They have like one focus on each panel, but I feel like this author, she gives it her all to everything, and everything is extremely detailed. And I love detailed art styles because you can see so much in someone's expressions that you can't say with words and dialogue. And if you're going to say the emotion with dialogue, it's going to be a very unnatural dialogue, obviously. So I feel like her art style is extremely really good. But I also like that every time they come to like a new city or like a new place, the architecture is extremely good. So when I read that she has a background in being an architect, I was like, it makes so much sense because she's so good at painting buildings and surroundings and backgrounds with so much detail in everything. You could like sit, like when they come to the one shop, for example, like you could sit for such a long time, you're staring at this big tree because there was so many trinkets and details like in that entire room of the tree, and I find that really beautiful. And I like art style that is like that you can feel like they actually put effort into the paintings and not just the story and the plot.
Like you can hang every page from the series. You can hang on the wall. It looks so nice.
The paneling is unbelievably beautiful. Yeah, I agree. I also like how it flows. Like sometimes, you know, you have like characters floating out of the panels and it kind of like gives you that not 3D-esque kind of thing, but like it gives you like it's visually appealing when you look at every page. And I really like it. I think I like it so much that I might want to actually buy it as a physical format, and not just like borrow the books and read them. So I think I want them in my collection, because I like them. I like the ideas of them and everything. Like, you know, I was very negative in the beginning. I'm sorry about that. I wasn't actually negative. It's just like, you know, when I find things that I find interesting, I want to discuss them, and I get like not hot-headed, but like you know,
Passionate.
I get passionate about the things I want to say. uh, but I do like the series. It's great. I will continue reading it. I will buy it as well and give money to it. I haven't heard if it's gonna be an anime or if, because I don't think there is one, right? But I haven't read if there's gonna be one.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I haven't really checked that much. I didn't have the time to check it.
I think I heard something, but I also believe I'm mixing up something else.
Yeah. Oh, the anime is delayed to 2026. Ah, I see. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one. The trailer is stunning. Check it out. Okay, I will check it out.
There you
There is like the art style reminds me of a different show. Let me see if not a show, but a manga that I read a while back. Something with eternity. I think it's called To Your Eternity. I need to check. Oh yeah, it is To Your Eternity. I felt like the manga style is not the same, but how detailed it is and how beautiful the art is, that if you're really into beautiful art styles and fantasy, I do recommend To Your Eternity. It's great. The composer for it is the same person who worked on the popular Souls game. I think, oh, that's cool. Did you guys, I don't know if you guys know Sugar Sugar Rune. Tay will know what coming.
Sugar.
Sugar Sugar Rune, you know, is a witch manga from like my childhood. I read it in Swedish even because they actually did translate that one into Swedish. They don't translate manga anymore in Sweden. But when I was a kid, and when I say kid, I mean when I was 10, I read Sugar Sugar Rune, and I'm like in my 30s now. So it's a long time ago. They're making a remake anime for that manga, and it's gonna be 3D, not 2D, but 3D, and it looks so uncanny in a weird way. But like the outfits are 100% better and more manga accurate than the old anime were. But like, I don't know, it has such a big special place in my heart that the 3D just looks so uncanny, and I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it. uh
It's
it
like it's like 3D trying to look like 2D.
Yeah. Oh, if you put your mouth right up the microphone and speak for a few, it sounds weird as like this. Right now, my lips are on the microphone. Was it weird?
It was closer.
I saw the announcement recently. I do love Sugar Sugar Run. This like, I'm not gonna say the plot is good. I'm not gonna say the art style is good. I'm not gonna say the manga is good. But I read it when I was like 10 or 12. I was really young when I read it, so it to me is just childhood memories. It's kind of like the same with Sailor Moon. When I watch Sailor Moon today, it's pretty shit. But it's my shit, okay? I will stand by that shit. It's a glorified shit. Like it's not perfect. It has so many plot holes there. Yeah, but it's good.
We stand up for our shit.
Yeah, we do. We're getting so many remakes of old animes and manga. I feel like it's the same with Hollywood though. We either getting prequels, sequels to series, or we're getting a remake. And I feel like, why can we not just make something original? Like, there's so many good ideas out there, so many probably good manuscripts. There's a lot of manga out there that haven't been, film or animated. There's so many things that we could actually do. We don't need to make remakes. Like, I understand it's for profit and to like both have like profit on the old people like us who going to be like, oh, nostalgia, but then you also get a profit from people who haven't heard about the show and they will watch the show due to it being a new release. So I understand it's about money, but it's just kind of like sad when they do it, because I rather have new original ideas than 1,000 of remakes. But maybe it's just me, I don't know. But when it comes to Hollywood, it's just so extreme at this point, especially with the remakes that, for example, Sweden makes a movie and then Hollywood is like, okay, we will make the same movie, but it's Americanized. And it's the same when they go like, they take Japanese movies and Korean movies, but they make them Americanized. And that just bothers me. If we can watch movies in different languages, why can't they? you know just do like the Germans and dub it if it's that hard to read subtitles. Am I right?
So are you looking forward to the American Squid Games?
No. I'm just wondering, like, what kind of like games would America have? There's also one that's called Squid Game World. So it's going to be different kind of Squid Games around the world. And I'm guessing that's going to include Europe. And I'm guessing they're going to say Europe is a country. And we have the same games all of Europe. I don't know. I don't have... The only thing that I do have excitement for is probably Squid Game 1987, which was the very first Korean Squid Game, because it would be interesting to see like how it all began. But like all the other Squid Games, I do not understand. Like the nah. Nah. In America's Squid Game, we have been fitness gram paid test. Oh, I see. What would even Sweden have? We would play, the basketball king, I think, right?
Yeah. What did I do on the on recess?
I don't know. We played we were in 4 squares with a basketball, and it was called king. There was like a king, a queen, a knight, I think, and then someone else. And then there was like different kind of throws that you could do, like a really long one or a really slow one. And the ball could only bounce one time. So you had to like trick your opponent to not catch it.
Yeah, I remember.
I have no memory of that. What the fuck do you mean you have no memory of that? 100% we did that all the time. Okay, you did not go to my school, I guess. We also had King of the Hill, where they did like a snow hill with all the snow. They would like shuffle up all the snow into like a big hill, and then there was like a king on top of it, and then the rest had to like wrestle him down, and the person who was like standing on top when the recess was over, he was the king and he won. And there was a lot of blood on that snow hill. There was so many teeth fell out of people's mouths. I remember. They killed people for sure.
Imagine playing Cub in Squid Games.
Oh my god. But that's like a team game though. Like, would you really be able to play Cub alone? I mean, I guess you could play, but it's so long though. Like, the game would take like an hour, 30 minutes to an hour. It's not very interesting. Like, the other Squid Games were like 10 minutes, 15 minutes or something like that.
Cub only takes long if you suck.
Yeah. You would die direct then.
I did win by missing everything.
Marbles for Germany, probably. I see. We never played with marbles. We did play with like go-go's. You remember go-go's? Okay, you don't remember go-go's? Okay, I'm older than you as well, so that makes sense.
I did not play with go-go's. What is a go-go?
It was like a plastic kind of like a plastic monster that you could like toss as a dice, and depending on how he landed, if he was like face down, face up, or standing up, you could like get different points, and then you had to slide him to the corner of the table. And depending on how your go-go looked, like the monster you had, they could be like sleek, or they could be bumpy, and they could be like different difficulties into like getting them as close to the table end as possible. And then you had to like nudge the other one off the table or something like that. And you had 3 go-go's to like slide. I don't know how to explain it. My big brother, he was a gangster at the schoolyard because he would give like 3 go-go's, like these dice things. He would give them to like kindergarteners, and then he said, you may keep these if I get everything that you win, because if you won against someone, you got their go-go's, or how many you decided to like bet on. So my big brother, he kind of like gave free go-go's to all the kindergarteners, and then they went out and started betting and winning games, and then they gave all the winning pot to my brother. So we had buckets and buckets and buckets of go-go's at home. And people started calling my mom, and they were like, your son is taking all our son's go-go's, and it was apparently a big thing. My big brother was also in 5th grade when he did this to the kindergarteners, by the way. Could be good to know the facts.
The hustle.
I can say that he is a big boss at a big tech company in Sweden today. So he definitely have leadership skills.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He started hustling early.
Your brother should go to the casino. No, he doesn't gamble himself. He just, like, you know, he makes other people do it for him, and then he kind of go and take the interest. He's like, if you win, I get like 90% of whatever it is you win. So he's like, you know, he's giving the kids who didn't afford go-go's or didn't have parents to give them go-go's, he would go to them and give them go-go's for free if they gave him all the winnings. I mean, he was kind of smart.
That's a good business strategy.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not for the kindergarteners, but for him.
I guarantee if there's an American Squid Game where I think violence and competitiveness would be very, 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 very high. Yeah, I think it would be kind of like higher than it is in the Korean one. Also, jumping rope and jumping rubber band thing. Oh yeah, I remember the jumping rubber band thing you had around your ankles. Yeah, that was a thing. And hula hooping was a thing as well. I was really good at hula hooping. I could like hula hoop and walk around the school for 20 minutes the entire recess, and I never dropped the hula hoop. I could like walk around with it. It was kind of awesome how good I was at that.
Very cool.
I should have done something with it. I've seen people hula hoop with their boobs. You know, that looks kind of cool.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, it was on TikTok.
I'm just imagining the weird angle you have to stand to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of arc your back like a C.
What's going on in your school? Turn out the whole school are psychopaths, including Ophi. Hey, my school was... Okay, you know what? It was a very weird school. I'm not gonna lie. They made us men. They made men out of us. Only the strongest and the fittest survived.
That's how you ensure the future.
Yes. When my school was more chill, you know it's bad. That is true. That is true. But you know, the school that I'm talking about, it was also closed. When I was in 5th grade, they were like, we're gonna close this school, and I had to do 6th grade in a different school. And we were hated at the new school because they were like, fuck you. Legit, the first thing that happened when we came to the new school was like the other people like, fuck you kids, you don't belong here, you belong at that nasty school. Maybe my school was a big problem. I don't know. A lot of things happened there, at least. I also remember like the teachers, because I went up to the teachers and I asked them about this like snow hill, and I was like, kids are, you know, losing teeth and there's like blood on the hill. I was like, how are you allowing this? And the teachers were like, it's good that they are losing energy in the recess, because then they're calm and collected when they come inside.
Just gonna ignore the blood part.
Let's ignore the blood part and losing teeth, because like at least they don't have any more energy to be bitching towards the teacher.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, it was kind of funny though. I realized it's like 11:30, and I said I was gonna go to bed early today, but that definitely didn't happen.
That was the plan, at least.
That was the plan. The plan was not executed properly, apparently. We need to decide the next manga for the next two weeks. Yeah, in 2 weeks we're gonna read a different manga. Does anyone have any suggestions what we should read for next time?
Not everyone at once, please.
Oh, I see library in one of them. Let's see. Oh, that looks cute. Magos of the Library. I like how it says that if you like Witch Hat Atelier, you will like Magos of the Library. They're apparently much alike. Assassination Classroom. Oh yeah. Okay, we have 3. Let's take them. We have Magos. We have Assassination Classroom. Oh. Wait. I'm changing hairstyles, I see. And we had Ruri Dragon. What to read next? Question. And I will start the poll. Or Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, I see. You're trying to get us to read your favorite.
I am already reading it.
Yeah. Listen to Dame Gina. She got the good stuff. Witch Hat author likes Magas of the Library. Oh, nice. You look kind of different. Yeah. I have a lot of toggles that I don't really use. I can show you. These is my I was gonna say witch hairstyle, but it's not. It's my queen hairstyle. And then I can have antlers. Technically this is my Christmas outfit, so I have antlers that also can blink. Look, blink, 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 blink. Pretty. I also have ears. I can be, oh dear. But technically it was made for a Christmas outfit to look like Rudolph,
Jingle bell, jingle bell.
Jingle all the way. I'm looking forward to Christmas.
We're since it's July, we're actually early with the Christmas tree now instead of late.
Yes. Exactly, the best. So should we say that chat has 1 vote Tay has 1 vote and I have 1 vote. I can say a little bit what they're about, I guess. Assassination Classroom, I can say I have read. It's about an alien teacher who comes and he says, assassinate me. And the class has to assassinate him in some sort. And it's a very, very good book about what it means to be an actual good teacher. And it has it's funny, but it has the action of them trying to actually assassinate him, but he's also very shoo 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 shoo, good at it. But it does have some deeper meaning and it's very cool. It was a long time ago since I read it, so I don't 100% remember all of it. Let's see, Magos of the Library. Let's see, trying to find someone saying what it's about would be nice. I'm just getting up. A story about a poor boy swept away by a kind library mage and the literal magic of reading. Magos of the Library is a beautifully drawn. Oh yeah, I can see the drawings. It's really beautiful. It's beautiful drawn, spirited fantasy adventure, very much like Full Metal Alchemist, and it's for all ages. Very cool. And we have Ruri Dragon. Ruri Aoki wakes up one day and notices that horns started growing out of her head, and when asked about it, her mother reveals that she's actually half dragon. Despite this revelation, Ruri tries to continue living a normal human life, though it's more challenging than she thought. Nice, nice. 3 very different books. And it looks like Assassination Classroom has 1 on chat. Ruri Dragon is about a high school girl who learns one morning she's a dragon. There's a live action movie. Oh, that's cool. About the assassination. Oh, I see. When I see stuff like assassination and assessment, I look at the first 2 letters. Yeah. I was just rereading Magazines of the Library. I'm almost caught up. Oh, I see. Yeah. My little sister is with me and thinks Assassination Classroom sounds cool. Yeah. Let's see. I will end the poll and Assassination Classroom 1. Yes. And Tay, you get to pick 1 voting. Which one would you rather read? Assassination Classroom about the alien teacher. Magos of the Library about a little boy who's swept up by a library mage. Or Ruri Dragon, a cute high school girl who learns she's half dragon and has now horns.
I will choose Assassination Classroom.
Damn.
I have heard of it before.
Yeah, I see. I was gonna say Magos of the Library, but I guess we will vote it down. I see.
Oh no.
I will read it on my own then. I don't need you guys. I can read stuff by my own. Assassination Classroom has a live action movie. Oh, you know what would be fun? Because we talked about having more Discord movie nights. What if we watched the live action Assassination Classroom movie after the stream about the discussion about the manga in 2 weeks? I think that would be kind of fun because then we can watch it together after reading it together. Mm.
That'd be nice.
Me too. Exactly. Together with me. We read it, we watch it, and compare and contrast. Exactly. It's not like I want to talk about my favorite manga. Exactly. It's not like I want to read about things that's interesting to me. You know what? I will have a corrupt system next time we're voting, and maybe the magus of the library will win. I will make sure it wins. Mm. I mean, there's no corrupt systems here, I promise. Everything is very, very diplomatically made here.
You know, there is a democracy and then there's a super democracy.
Yeah, all hail a
we
book
have the good side.
dictator. Yes, I'm a book dictator. I feel like that's a good. You know, I should change. You know, like I don't want to be a librarian anymore. I'm gonna be a book dictator. I feel like that title serves me better. No corruption at all. Nothing to see here. Exactly. Don't look into it so much. If you don't look, it looks legit. If you don't use your brain and research the data, it's 100% legit.
Yeah, totally.
The more you think about it, the more research you do, the more you're gonna mess up your own mind. You know, just go with it. Just be happy. It's not like I want to go completely off topic every 2 seconds. Hey, I don't do that. My brain just works weird, you know? I see a word and then I speak about something and then I see a different word and I speak about something different and then we're on a tangent about snow skiing and it has nothing to do with what we started about.
Sometimes you just want to talk about the rats.
No, only you like to talk about rats. You and Raul.
Me and Raul go way back.
Like what? 2 days?
2 hours ago when you put me in the dungeon.
To be fair, 2 hours for a rat is a lifetime.
True.
Perfectly normal, no ADHD here. To be honest, the Tay is the only one on the spectrum here. I'm just.
We don't know that for sure, but we are quite sure.
Yeah, he was never tested, but you know I can see it on him.
You can see it on.
you, I was gonna say you tweaking, but. But you fidget. I was gonna say you fidget on things all the time. And you can't think about 2 things at the same time.
I can't.
It's funny, we were playing Overcooked 2, and I have to like scream at him and be like, do this now, can you look at this now? And he can't, so I have to do the work for 2 people. Every time.
I got some levels were really overstimulating.
That game though, Overcooked, like you have to clench your butt cheeks because you're so stressed out. And I saw someone, they were like, teehee, this is my comfort cozy game with my girlfriend, and they play some cozy, and they was like, it's just like Stardew Valley. Okay, but it's for cooking. And I was like, oh, I like cooking, but it's not though, is it? Because you have to like it's a time limit. You have to need to get a specific amount of money in a specific amount of time. It's very stressful. That's not a comfort game. I know it's not a comfort game, but TikTok told me so. I feel bamboozled.
Just because it's cute animals cooking does not make it a comfort game.
Yeah, they are very inclusive though because they have a raccoon in a wheelchair as a chef, and that's kind of cool. Mm.
Which I play as.
That was the first mistake, trusting TikTok. That is very true. I shouldn't have trusted TikTok. But you know, sometimes TikTok can be giving good information. For example, when you see my TikToks,
Ooh.
then you know it's 100% true information being spoken.
Ooh, how do I find your TikToks?
It's
Mm.
secret.
Damn.
Oh yeah, you can find my TikTok in my description below, I think. I think so at least. Otherwise my name is Queen Ophelia on TikTok. I don't know. I never. Oh, you can't find my TikTok in my social. that's
Whoops.
that's funny. Yeah, I don't promote my TikTok so much because I don't. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I don't want to. Um, I don't want to use TikTok, but then I'm like, okay, I will use TikTok, but then I don't want to. But I don't get many views on TikTok. I don't know how people do it. I get like 10 views per short, and the same short, I get like 2,000 views on YouTube. So I don't know why TikTok hates me. There's something wrong with TikTok, clearly.
Obviously.
Speaking of games, have you thought about playing Claire Obscure Expedition 33? It has incredible good story, and I think you're turn-based. Oh, no, I haven't. No, I haven't heard of that game either. Is it a new game or has it been out for a long time? That is
It's a new
highly.
game.
That's highly specific case, but in all other cases, don't trust TikTok. Yes. Mm. So does it mean you talk about beheading every single one of us in your TikToks and forcing me to do manual labor? No, I talk about literature actually. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I can't get enough of speaking about books, can I? I heard about it. It seems good. It's a new one. Ah, it's new, incredible, insane, really. I have to look it up. There's so many new games. I'm really looking forward to the new Silent Hill game. It doesn't look like a Silent Hill game, but it looks good to be a horror game, and I love horror games. mm. TikTok likes people swallowing hot dogs whole and gamers. They make no room for readers. Oh, I see. Aw. They shot me in the heart. I was gonna say the dick, but I don't have a dick.
Eh,
Why is that my first response? I was gonna say at least I didn't say it, but I did say it, didn't I? The look up
you thought
spoilers.
about it and you said.
The game is actually plot twist. Ah, I see. I usually don't look up spoilers. It's like, you know, when someone streams a game I want to play myself, I don't watch their streams. Hence why I didn't watch Gina play Spirit Father. Isn't it called that? Father? Spirit Father. Spirit Fa- The Spirit game. I didn't watch Gina play it because I want to play it myself. Oh my god. Okay, I'm tired now. Me English no speak no comprehend.
No habla ruski.
Yeah, mi habla no ruski. Niet. Speaking of Russian,
Yes.
there's a light novel and I think a manga that's called Something Something Doesn't Understand Russian but Does Understand Russian, about like a girl who speaks Russian or something like that, and or a guy who speaks Russian and the girl or the guy next, it doesn't say but they also know Russian. So I think it's her that speaks Russian and she speaks like gives him compliments in Russian, and uh he knows that she's complimenting him. uh or something like that. It sounds so okay. Now Alia sometimes hides her feeling in Russian. Yeah, 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 that's it. That's it. Yeah, yeah. I want to read that. It's also on my TBR. It sounds good. Yeah. I thought you looked forward to the new Zelda, so I got excited that they were a new Zelda, and then very confused why you knew that before me. No, no, no. I know nothing about Zelda. Yeah, yeah. Don't trust me in that. Also making sure we know she's a psychopath. The Rushidere anime. It was stupidly fun. Is it good? The anime. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. Mm, I need to read the light novel. I think, I read about it and I was like, yeah, that sounds super cute. When I want something fluffy and cute, I'm gonna read that. It's getting a second season. Ooh. Mm. Yeah, I need to. I need to read that. But yeah. See, I go on tangents all the time. I never say goodnight or goodbye, even though I said like 30 minutes ago I needed to go.
Crazy.
It's more degenerate than. Oh, I see, I see. I thought it was gonna be like a wholesome thing. I see. Mm. Tay, do you want to say something before we end? We have decided to read Assassination Classroom for the next time in 2 weeks. And we have talked about the manga, which had Atelier. Something else you want to say before we say goodnight and you are left alone in the dungeon with your rat friends?
Regarding which Atelier, I think the bad guys look really cool and I hope they win.
What the fuck? Anyway.
Anyway.
Anyway, all hail book dictator. Why did I pronounce it like dictator?
Dictator.
That's me.
You're
Good
the
night.
dictator.
Good night, everyone, and I will see you soon. On Tuesday, we will have a study stream because I actually don't work on Tuesday, so yay! So
Night, everyone.
if you want to study with me, I will see you on Tuesday. Otherwise, take care, and I will see you guys on next manga club. Bye bye.
Bye.